We are joined today by Shea Serrano, writer, author, and of course his new book, Expensive Basketball, making him a five-time New York Times bestseller. That's right, say it with me, five-time New York bestseller. Count
Five.
the ring, Shea. Come on now.
Five.
First, Shea, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time today.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to. I'm less excited to talk to you today than I would have been had we won that game last night. But I'm still like relatively excited.
Hey, that was elite basketball right there. The Stephen Wemby show, I will watch that any day of the week. That was a lot of fun. Two aliens here in San Antonio for sure. And I first want to jump into the book with the end of the intro. It's something that I highlighted that I love that you wrote that this book, it's an affirmation of feelings. It's an affirmation of basketball virtuosity. You compared it to lying in the grass, staring up at the moon at night and realizing how great it is that you actually, really, honestly exist. So I want to know when basketball first gave you those feelings and what the phrase expensive basketball means to you.
All right. If we go in order, basketball first gave me those feelings. I imagine when everybody gets it. When you're a kid and you realize you get somebody will show you this like a new thing. Excuse me. Somebody will show you a new thing, whatever it is, a movie, a TV show, an album, and it just like opens your world up a little bit. Like you didn't know that this existed, and now you know, and it makes you not only interested in that thing, but also interested in learning about like, oh, there's more stuff out there than what I know. And basketball did that for me early, elementary, somewhere around then. Like, excuse me, we started playing as like 10-year-olds or whatever with your friends, and then you just sort of grow your way into it. It was like one of those things where I knew I liked it immediately, and it just got more and more important to me as I got older. So it gave me those feelings very very early on. And excuse me, with regard to what expensive basketball means, I think that's an idea that most people sort of understand intuitively. And the way that I present it in the book is with a hypothetical. It says if somebody were to show you a video of Ray Allen shooting a jump shot, and then they showed you a video of Joakim Noah shooting a jump shot, they didn't explain anything else. No other parts, no other explanations. They just showed you these two videos and then asked you which of these two feels more expensive. You would know, even if you have never seen basketball before, you would know in your heart for some reason the Ray Allen video felt more expensive. You wouldn't be able to explain why, but you would know, you would understand it, you would feel it the same way that you feel like happiness or hunger, or it's like a very natural thing. And so that's what the term expensive basketball means. It's just in reference to those things that you watch it happen on a basketball court and you feel something.
You write about Steph Curry at the Olympics. It's one of your chapters in the book. And in that chapter, you write three different times. Steph Curry shoots a basketball and it's beautiful. What's your first memory of Steph shooting a ball and going, oh, this guy's different?
Pretty early on, well, I guess not early on in his career, but early on for me was the Spurs played the Warriors in the playoffs, pre-Warriors championship, you know, and you go into it and you're like, well, this is a young team and where we have like championship pedigree. This is when we still had Tim Tony Manu. We're gonna be fine in the series. Whatever. It's the one where Manu hits the game winner, the 3-pointer, and everybody goes crazy. But you went into the series. I say you. I went into the series just like this will be a no problem series at all. We're gonna be fine. I'm not worried about these guys. And then you start like you get exposed to the team in general, but to Steph playing him, 4, 5, 6 times in a row rather than a couple of times spaced out over the course of a year. So we just were in that playoff series, and I just remember watching him and being like, oh my God, your eye just gets drawn to him on a basketball court in the same way that your eye gets drawn to like to LeBron or to Asia Wilson or to any of the greats. Even if you've never seen it before, you watch a game and your eye just, who is this player here? So for me, it was that postseason series between the Spurs and the Warriors.
You write too that the final 3 minutes in France in the Olympics with Steph
Oh
versus
man.
France, Team USA, that it was like a scene. I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street. When you're watching that, though, as a basketball fan, as a Spurs fan, though, especially, you're going bang, bang, bang. When he's doing that to Wemby, and there's this amazing shot, obviously, with Victor Wembanyama, his 12 feet arms jumping towards Steph, and he somehow gets that ball over him. Like, what is your description, your feelings of that when you see him doing that, and Victor Wembanyama, of all people, going through that early in his stage, especially?
Well, so the thing with that was by that point, I had, a, a decade plus years of experience with Steph, watching Steph. Like I have a relationship with him. Also, he's playing for Team USA. I love Wemby. I'd only had him for a little bit in my life, and he was also at that moment with the enemy. So I was not like, oh no, he's doing it to my guy. I was like, oh heck yes, this is awesome to root for. Opposite of what I was feeling last night when we played, and he starts going nuts. And it's just you're just terrified. You're like, just don't let him get the ball, please do. Like you're in a panic, right? But when he's your guy, in that moment, he got to be everybody in America. He got to be our guy, and you get to experience what it feels like when he's doing it for you. Oh my! It was unbelievable. I had actually written a whole other Steph Curry chapter, like a whole different thing. It was whole different thing. And then the Olympics happened, and the book was done. It was all the way done. The Olympics happened, and I emailed the publisher like, "Hey, I have to change this."
Wow.
Like the whole thing changed. That's the last thing that went into the book, just because it was like, if the whole point of this book is talking about basketball things that make you feel something, what I just watched right here from the greatest shooter who has ever lived, what I just watched, this will be the defining moment of his career. He's got almost a fistful of rings of championships. Great. But the first thing anybody's going to mention when they talk about the greatness of Steph Curry is going to be that moment there where he did on the biggest stage possible with all of the best basketball players on the planet, suddenly deferring to him and being like, you get us home with the like biggest stakes at play. Like it was just this unbelievably overwhelming basketball experience. And so I had to change everything because of that. He messed up my production schedule.
I love it. I mean, it's the confidence, it's the conviction. I mean, you had KD, you had LeBron there open, and it was like, no.
Open.
I got this. Yeah, right there. But it's no, I'm Steph Curry. And it actually takes me back to Steph had this great tweet. We just had like the 16-year anniversary of it from his rookie year. Like the Warriors were,
we'll
they were 2-5 at the time. He was struggling. He just scored 6 points in a loss to the Pacers off the bench. And he tweets out his promise, like, to Dub Nation, I promise that we're going to fix this, all of that. And it brings me back, though, to that game in France with Wemby, because we saw the emotions, that how much it meant to Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Can that loss almost be like his villain arc, his defining moment, as far as, okay, I'm going to build off of this, almost like how Steph had that promise to Warriors fans 16 years ago, and now we're seeing Wemby go and be a Buddhist in the offseason, be a monk, and and be like this next Karate Kid and coming out and doing what he's doing now. Can that loss almost be the fuel to his fire?
I hope so, but also he sort of has expressed that from the time he has arrived, like how meaningful this thing is. Watch the Court of Gold documentary, and just hearing him talk about basketball. He talks about basketball the way that the top level guys talk about basketball, where this is the only thing that means something to me at this moment. And I would be hesitant to say like, oh, that's going to be the thing that did it for him. I would argue it's sort of in there already. He's going to arrive at it. It was in Steph already. There was no reason for him to do that other than like to let everybody know that I've got this thing inside of me, and it's going to come out eventually, and it's going to be unbelievable when it does.
You write about Klay Thompson's 37-point third quarter. 37 points for a game is amazing. He did 37 points in a third quarter. It's stupid to even think about. And in there, you say that he turned Oracle Arena into the house from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And what I want to ask, though, it's the 37 points, 13 for 13 from the field, 9 of 9 from 3-point range.
Crazy.
That third quarter, it's comparable to what run by what actor or actress in which era?
Oh my goodness. You probably end up doing like Leo is on this really incredible run right now. It's probably like a Leonardo DiCaprio level run. But the thing of it is, if you go with Leo, like whatever his last 4 movies were, it's like masterpiece, pretty good, masterpiece, right? They're pretty good being Don't Look Up, the Netflix one, right? I like that movie. A lot of people don't like that movie. I think it's really good. But the other ones are like unquestionable masterpieces, is what we're talking about. So if you were even to like say that, which is like the most impressive, whatever, 10-year stretch, 8-year stretch, whatever it's been, when Klay Thompson did what he did in that court, nobody had ever done anything like that before. Literally not ever in the history of basketball, specifically in the history of the NBA. Guys have gotten hot before. There were misses sprinkled in there. To do this in the manner that he did it, in a manner that nobody will ever be able to replicate, ever. Nobody will ever do that again. It's like, it's just one of those things that makes you go, remember when everybody was talking about it several years ago, there's no such thing as a hot hand. Here's like scientific proof that it doesn't exist. Like that was like a conversation. And then something like this happens. And there are moments in there where he's shooting the ball without it, like seemingly without even looking at the rim. He's just catching it. The one that always stands out to me in my head is when he's in the corner and he's already gotten hot. And they've done the thing that they did however many times where Steph would like bring everybody to him and then kick it out to him. They tried that, but at this point they were just like, never leave Klay Thompson ever. Just hold on to him. So his defender doesn't move at all. Steph still throws the ball to him. Klay gets it, and without even thinking, just raises up to, like, he's not even facing in the right direction. And he's like, there's nothing that is going to make me miss. I'm just going to throw the ball up there. Even when it didn't count, even when they're like trying to foul him, they're still dropping in. Like, that's never going to happen again. I watched that video. Like it's a TV show. Like, I just go back to it because you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. The whole third quarter is available on YouTube. And I just keep watching. I try to find like what's the Kings broadcast? What does that sound like? What is the Spanish language broadcast? Like, I'm trying to find other versions of it. That's just, man, that was one of the ones where I knew when I was writing the book, well, I'm going to have this in here, if for no other reason than because I want to spend 3 weeks just watching this and researching this and only that, you know what I mean?
Because that is the most expensive shooting performance ever. There will never be a more expensive basketball performance in that third quarter, right?
I disagree. Because it's not specifically like he made the most amount of shots in a row. Like let's say the finals roll around. Let's say what happened last night. Spurs Warriors was Steph Curry being like, we see superstars do this all the time. They play against the young guy and they go, it's not your time yet. Let's say last night was that game. And Steph is going, it's not your time. We're going to make one more run at this thing. I need one for the thumb. I need the fifth one, right? And let's say they make it to the finals, and they thank God they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder on their way to do that. They get there and they do that, and it's like this. It's game 6 or whatever, and they're up 3-2, and Steph goes 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter of that game to win it. You could argue that would be more expensive than Klay going 13 for 13 in a regular season game against the Kings if he's doing it in the finals against whoever, against the surprise Detroit Pistons make their way to there.
The Paul Reed Pistons, okay.
Man.
Well, I'm going to circle it back then to Steph for my final question. Steve Kerr likes to say that Steph is the sun in their solar system. What he says, though, he says he's our Tim Duncan. How would you react if someone said, Shea Serrano, you are our Tim Duncan? Is that the biggest compliment you could have?
That would be the biggest compliment that I could get. That would also mean that our team is we're not doing great. If I'm the best guy you got, if I'm the number one guy on your team, we are a play-in team at best, like in life. You know what I mean? But I would be very honored. That would be the nicest possible thing someone could say. Yes.
Well, Shea, you are the Tim Duncan of New York Times bestsellers now. You got one for the thumb. Count him up. 5-time New York Times bestseller. Follow him on socials. Follow his good movie Substack, and of course, go out, do the thing, get expensive basketball. Thank you so much for joining me today, Steph. Steph, look at that. I'm already doing
I'll
it.
take it.
Expensive
I'll take
basketball.
it.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Shea. I appreciate you, man.
Steph
Thank you. Thank
Serrano,
you.
baby.